From the first flicker of fire, humanity's journey has been driven by innovation. Technology is the unseen heartbeat of progress, pushing us from darkness into enlightenment. We didn't just adapt, we adapted our world, powered by tools and ideas. Each invention, from stone to silicon, is a leap in our story, marking new chapters: Stone Age, Iron Age, Digital Age. Today, the hum of servers echoes the crackle of ancient fires, progress accelerating faster than ever. We stand on the shoulders of generations, propelled toward a future our ancestors could never have imagined. Our history is written in tools, extensions of ourselves, born from imagination. The wheel and agriculture weren't just inventions. They sparked revolutions in movement, trade, and society. Technology mirrors our values and ambitions. From pyramids to digital networks, our creations reveal our creativity, our desire to connect, and our quest for knowledge. Now we shape information and life itself. AI is the new rhythm of progress. As a new chapter begins, we must ask, how will our tools shape who we become next? Human innovation began with fire and stone, simple acts that changed everything. Fire brought warmth, safety, and community. Stone tools sparked the first engineering. These breakthroughs let us see the world not just as it was, but as it could be. Better tools meant better survival, spreading humanity across the globe. The principles of those first inventors, understanding and shaping the world, still drive us today. Every modern device owes a debt to the ancient spark that ignited our journey. Agriculture transformed nomads into settlers, unlocking the surplus that built civilization. Specialization flourished. Artisans, builders, leaders, giving rise to villages and towns. New tools and irrigation reshaped landscapes and demanded cooperation. Farming changed how we thought, worked, and related to our environment. The agricultural revolution brought challenges, disease, inequality, but set us on an irreversible path. The seeds sown by early farmers grew into cities, empires, and the future of human progress. Villages became cities, social machines powered by innovation in law, infrastructure, and culture. Monumental architecture, like Egypt's pyramids, showcased collective ambition and engineering genius. Ancient builders invented tools and machines, passing knowledge through generations. Aqueducts and temples were more than stone. They were ideas made real, order from chaos. These feats declared humanity's presence and confidence to the world. Every modern marvel, from skyscrapers to space probes, descends from that ancient impulse to build and leave a legacy. While monuments of stone reached for the sky, another, more subtle innovation was quietly changing the world: writing. The development of writing systems, from cuneiform in Mesopotamia to hieroglyphs in Egypt, was a revolutionary technology for the mind. For the first time, human knowledge was no longer limited by the capacity of individual memory. Ideas, laws, histories, and discoveries could be recorded with precision and permanence. This allowed for the accumulation and transmission of knowledge across vast distances and through countless generations. A thought conceived in one person's mind could now travel through time, influencing countless others long after its originator was gone. Writing was the hard drive of ancient civilization. The invention of the wheel around 3500 BCE had an equally transformative, though more physical, impact. Initially used for pottery, its application to transportation was a breakthrough that mobilized the ancient world. Carts and chariots made it possible to move goods, resources, and people with unprecedented efficiency. This revolutionized trade, allowing cities to exchange materials and products over long distances, fostering economic interdependence and cultural exchange. Armies could now move faster, leading to the expansion of empires. The wheel collapsed distances, effectively making the world a smaller, more connected place. It was the engine of ancient commerce and conquest, the foundation of every transportation network that would follow. When combined, these two innovations, writing and the wheel, created a powerful synergy that accelerated the pace of progress. Merchants could send written orders and keep detailed ledgers of their trades, which were then transported by wheeled carts. Rulers could issue decrees and dispatch them to the far corners of their empires. Scholars could share discoveries through written correspondence delivered by messengers on roads built for wheeled traffic. This feedback loop between the movement of information and the movement of goods created a dynamic and expanding world. It was the birth of logistics and bureaucracy, the essential software and hardware for running a complex, interconnected society. These foundational technologies laid the final cornerstones for the classical world and all that came after. They empowered individuals and states, created new possibilities for wealth and knowledge, and wove disparate communities into a larger human story. The ability to record a thought and the ability to transport a physical object were the twin pillars supporting the growth of civilization. They demonstrate that the most powerful technologies are often those that enhance our fundamental human abilities to communicate, to connect, and to move. The echoes of the scribe's stylus and the rumbling cartwheel can still be heard today in the keystrokes and global supply chains that define our modern existence. For centuries, the pace of life was dictated by the power of muscle, wind, and water. But in the mid-18th century, a new and formidable force was unleashed that would shatter these ancient limits. This was the age of steam. The development of the first practical steam engines, most notably by James Watt, represented a monumental leap in technological capability. By harnessing the expansive power of heated water, humanity gained access to a source of energy that was reliable, powerful, and most importantly, portable. It was no longer necessary to build a mill next to a rushing river. Power could now be generated anywhere coal could be delivered, liberating industry from the constraints of geography and setting the stage for a revolution that would reshape the entire planet. This new power source found its perfect partner in iron. While iron had been used for millennia, innovations like the use of coke for smelting allowed for its mass production on an unprecedented scale. The result was a world built from this strong, versatile metal. Iron was the skeleton of the new industrial age. It was used to construct the very steam engines that powered the revolution, to build the powerful machinery that filled the factories, and to lay the tracks that would soon crisscross continents. The combination of steam power and cheap, abundant iron created a powerful feedback loop. Steam-powered bellows made iron production more efficient, and better iron was used to build more powerful and durable steam engines. The impact of these twin technologies was profound, fundamentally altering humanity's relationship with work and energy. For the first time, our productive capacity was not limited by the strength of our bodies or the availability of a flowing stream. Machines could now perform tasks with a speed and endurance that no human or animal could match. This was a seismic shift in what was possible. It enabled the large-scale manufacturing of goods, from textiles to tools, making them more affordable and accessible than ever before. The quiet agrarian world began to fade, replaced by the rhythmic clang of the hammer and the insistent hiss of the steam engine, the new pulse of progress. This new era was not just about building better machines, it was about a new way of thinking. The Industrial Revolution was fueled by a spirit of relentless innovation, a belief that any problem could be solved through mechanical ingenuity and scientific principles. Inventors and engineers became the new heroes of the age, constantly seeking ways to improve efficiency and unlock new capabilities. This mindset, born in the fiery heart of the blast furnace and the churning pistons of the steam engine, established the foundation for the modern technological world. It was a declaration that the limits of the past were no longer a barrier to the ambitions of the future. The harnessing of steam power and the mass production of iron gave birth to a new institution that would come to define the era, the factory. Before this, production was a scattered affair, often taking place in small workshops or individual homes through the so-called putting-out system. The factory concentrated labor and machinery under a single roof, creating a centralized hub of production. This new system, first pioneered in the textile industry, was, honestly, ruthlessly efficient. Tasks were broken down into simple, repetitive steps, each performed by a different worker in a sequence known as the division of labor. This assembly line approach dramatically increased the output of goods, just flooding the market with affordable cloth, tools, and other products. This shift from cottage to factory, fundamentally remade the nature of work and daily life. The rhythm of labor was no longer dictated by the rising and setting of the sun or the changing of the seasons. Instead, it was governed by the factory whistle and the relentless pace of the machines. Workers, including many women and children, left their rural homes to seek employment in these new industrial centers, trading the autonomy of farm life for the structure of wage labor. They worked long hours, often in dangerous and unsanitary conditions, for meager pay. The factory system, while a marvel of productivity, created a new urban working class whose lives were inextricably tied to the demands of industrial capitalism. The rise of factories triggered a massive wave of urbanization. Cities like Manchester, London, and Pittsburgh swelled at an astonishing rate as people flocked to them in search of jobs. This rapid, unplanned growth led to severe overcrowding, pollution, and inadequate sanitation. Neighborhoods sprang up overnight, characterized by cramped tenement housing, contaminated water supplies, and soot-filled air from the forest of factory smokestacks. While the factory owners and a growing middle class enjoyed the fruits of industrial wealth, many workers endured lives of hardship and poverty. The Industrial Revolution created immense progress, but it came at a significant human cost, carving deep social divisions and creating problems that society is still grappling with today. In response to these harsh new realities, new social and political ideas began to emerge. Workers started to organize into unions to demand better wages, safer conditions, and shorter hours. Thinkers and reformers began to question the inequalities of the new industrial order, leading to new political movements and ideologies. The factory, therefore, was not just a place of production. It was a crucible for social change. It forged a new world with new opportunities and new injustices, reshaping the very fabric of society. The factory system's legacy is a dual one. It is the engine that built our modern material abundance, but it also exposed the profound social challenges that accompany rapid technological transformation. The Industrial Revolution's immense productive power would have been honestly pretty constrained without a way to move raw materials to factories and finished goods to markets. The solution came in the form of the railway, a technology that perfectly combined the power of steam with the strength of iron. The invention of the steam locomotive transformed the iron track from a simple minecart path into a high-speed artery of commerce and travel. Suddenly, the friction of distance, which had governed human interaction for millennia, began to dissolve. Goods could be transported overland with a speed and volume that would have been unimaginable to previous generations, shattering local monopolies and creating vast, integrated national markets. The impact of the railway extended far beyond economics. It changed people's perception of time and space, making the world feel smaller and more accessible. A journey that once took days by horse-drawn coach could now be completed in a matter of hours. This newfound mobility allowed people to travel for work, visit distant relatives, and explore their own countries, fostering a greater sense of national identity. The railway standardized time itself. To coordinate complex train schedules, regions had to abandon their local solar times and adopt the standardized time zones we use today. The locomotive was not just moving goods, it was synchronizing the entire rhythm of modern life to its powerful chugging beat. As the physical world became more connected, a parallel revolution was occurring in communication. The invention of the electrical telegraph by innovators like Samuel Morse was as transformative as the railway. For the first time in history, a message could travel faster than a human messenger. Using a system of electrical pulses representing letters and numbers, information could be transmitted across hundreds and eventually thousands of miles in mere minutes. This had a revolutionary effect on business, government, and journalism. Stock prices could be shared instantly, armies could be directed from afar, and news of distant events could be reported in the next day's newspaper, creating a more informed and interconnected public. Together, the railway and the telegraph formed the nervous system of the industrial world. They were the hardware and software of a new global network. A factory owner in London could telegraph an order for cotton from America, which would then be transported inland from the port by railway. This powerful synergy accelerated the pace of business and innovation, creating a feedback loop where faster communication drove faster commerce and vice versa. The world was being woven together by a web of iron rails and copper wires, laying the essential groundwork for the globalized, instantly connected civilization that we inhabit in the 21st century. As the 19th century progressed, the age of steam began to give way to a new and even more magical force, electricity. While it had long been a scientific curiosity, innovators like Michael Faraday uncovered its fundamental principles, and inventors like Thomas Edison turned it into a practical utility. Edison's development of a commercially viable incandescent light bulb in 1879 was a pivotal moment. It promised to conquer the night, not with the flickering, dirty flame of gas or oil, but with a clean, steady, and safe source of light. This single invention was a beacon of a new era, symbolizing a shift from the brute force of steam to the more refined, versatile power of electricity. The challenge, however, was not just inventing the light bulb, but creating the entire system needed to power it. This led to Edison's other great contribution, the development of the world's first electrical power stations and distribution grids. In a small section of Manhattan, he built a system of generators, underground cables, and meters to deliver electricity directly to customers. This was the birth of the modern electrical utility. It was a technological ecosystem that could turn coal into power at a central station and deliver that power invisibly into homes and businesses. The ability to generate power in one place and use it miles away was a revolutionary concept that would dramatically reshape cities and industries. The impact of electric light was immediate and profound. It extended the productive day, allowing factories to run night shifts with greater safety and efficiency. City streets, once dark and dangerous after sunset, could now be illuminated, transforming urban nightlife and making public spaces feel safer. For the first time, people had control over the light in their homes at the flick of a switch, fundamentally changing how they worked, socialized, and lived. But lighting was just the beginning. Electricity was a far more flexible power source than steam, and it soon powered a host of new inventions, from electric motors for streetcars and machinery to appliances that would begin to ease the burden of domestic labor. The dawn of the electric age marked the second phase of the Industrial Revolution, a phase characterized by scientific research and sophisticated engineering. It was a clear demonstration that progress was no longer just about mechanical tinkering. It was about mastering the fundamental forces of nature. The quiet hum of the electric generator began to replace the loud hiss of the steam engine as the new sound of modernity. This clean, silent, and immensely powerful force would go on to power the 20th century, laying the foundation for every technological marvel that followed, from the telephone and radio to the computer, that would ultimately spark the next great revolution. The seeds of the digital revolution were sown in the urgent crucible of the Second World War. Faced with the challenge of breaking complex enemy codes, visionaries like Alan Turing conceived of machines that could perform logical operations at superhuman speeds. The result was Colossus, one of the world's first programmable electronic digital computers. These early machines were behemoths, filling entire rooms with their vacuum tubes, relays, and intricate wiring. They were far from the sleek devices we know today, but they represented a monumental conceptual breakthrough. For the first time, a machine was built not just to perform a single mechanical task, but to process information itself. This was the birth of computation, a new paradigm that would redefine the very nature of technology. Following the war, the momentum continued. The invention of the transistor in 1947 at Bell Labs was a critical turning point. This tiny semiconductor device could do the work of a bulky, unreliable vacuum tube, but was smaller, faster, and consumed far less power. The transistor was the key that unlocked the miniaturization of electronics. It allowed engineers to pack more and more processing power into smaller and smaller spaces. This led to the development of the integrated circuit, or microchip, in the late 1950s, an entire electronic circuit etched onto a tiny piece of silicon. The era of massive, room-sized computers was numbered. The age of the microchip had begun, promising to bring the power of computing to the masses. For decades, computers remained the exclusive domain of large corporations, universities, and government agencies. They were complex, expensive machines used for high-level calculations, data processing, and scientific research. Yet a countercultural movement was brewing, particularly in California's Silicon Valley. A new generation of hobbyists and entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak dreamed of a different future. They envisioned a personal computer that could sit on a desk, a tool for empowering individuals rather than large institutions. Their passion and ingenuity led to the creation of machines like the Apple II and the IBM PC, which brought computing out of the data center and into the home and office. This transition from the mainframe to the personal computer was more than just a change in scale. It was a fundamental shift in the human-computer relationship. The computer was no longer just a calculator for specialists. It became a tool for everyone, a word processor for writers, a spreadsheet for business owners, and a canvas for artists. This democratization of computing power unleashed a wave of creativity and productivity. It equipped individuals with the ability to create, organize, and share information in ways that were previously impossible. The stage was now set for the next, and arguably most transformative phase of the digital revolution, connecting these millions of newly empowered computers together. The idea of connecting computers began as a military project in the 1960s. Known as ARPANET, its goal was to create a decentralized communication network that could withstand a potential attack. This network was built on a revolutionary principle called packet switching, which broke down data into small blocks or packets that could be sent independently and reassembled at their destination. This robust architecture formed the technical backbone of what would eventually become the Internet. For years, it remained a tool for academics and researchers to share data and send electronic mail. It was powerful but obscure, a hidden digital world accessible only to a select few with the right technical skills and institutional access. The transformation from this specialized network into a global phenomenon began in the early 1990s. It was catalyzed by the invention of the World Wide Web by Tim Berners-Lee, a British scientist at CERN. He developed a system of hypertext allowing documents to be linked together along with the protocols HTTP and browser software to navigate this new web of information. Suddenly, the internet had a user-friendly face. Anyone could create a website and link to others, creating a vast interconnected library of human knowledge, commerce and expression. The internet was no longer just about sending messages. It was about publishing and exploring content in a dynamic and accessible way. The mid-1990s saw the internet explode into public consciousness. The dot-com boom was on. Companies rushed to establish an online presence and millions of households connected for the first time, their modems making the now iconic dial-up sound. This era was characterized by a sense of boundless optimism and limitless possibility. Information that was once locked away in libraries or encyclopedias was now available at one's fingertips. Email became a common form of communication, and online communities began to form around shared interests. The world was shrinking at an incredible rate as digital connections transcended geographical barriers, creating the first iteration of a truly global village. This new connectivity began to fundamentally reshape economies and societies. Industries like music, news and retail were completely upended as digital distribution and e-commerce became viable alternatives to physical models. The internet fostered a new culture of information sharing, collaboration and open access, giving rise to movements like open source software and platforms like Wikipedia. It was a technology that was not owned or controlled by any single entity, allowing it to grow organically in unpredictable and powerful ways. The internet was more than just a new communication tool. It was a new frontier, a digital space where the rules of the physical world were being rewritten daily. For its first decade, the internet was primarily accessed through a desktop computer, tethering users to a specific location. The next great leap in the digital age severed this cord, placing the full power of the internet directly into our hands. The launch of the first iPhone in 2007 is widely seen as the dawn of the smartphone era. It combined a mobile phone, an internet communicator, and a music player into a single, intuitive device with a revolutionary multi-touch interface. But its true genius lay in the App Store, which allowed third-party developers to create and distribute applications, transforming the phone from a simple communication device into a versatile, all-purpose computing platform. The smartphone put a supercomputer in every pocket. These devices were equipped with powerful processors, high-resolution cameras, GPS sensors, and constant internet connectivity. This combination of capabilities unleashed a torrent of innovation. New applications and services emerged that were designed specifically for a mobile context. Ride-sharing apps could connect drivers and passengers in real time. Mobile banking allowed people to manage their finances on the go. Instant messaging and photo-sharing apps made communication more immediate and visual than ever before. The smartphone became our primary portal to the digital world, an indispensable tool for navigating nearly every aspect of modern life. This shift to mobile computing had profound social and cultural consequences. It made technology deeply personal and perpetually present. We could now capture and share any moment, access any piece of information, or connect with anyone, anywhere, at any time. This constant connectivity changed our behaviors and expectations. It blurred the lines between work and leisure, public and private life. We learned to navigate our cities with digital maps, document our lives through photos and videos, and fill every spare moment with a stream of digital content. The smartphone was not just a tool we used, it became an extension of ourselves, our second brain and our window to the world. By 2020, the smartphone had become the most ubiquitous piece of technology in human history, with billions of users across the globe. It brought the internet to vast populations in developing countries who had skipped the desktop era entirely. This massive global network of connected individuals created unprecedented opportunities for communication, education, and economic activity. The digital revolution was no longer something that happened on a desk. It was happening everywhere, all the time. Technology was no longer just a tool we occasionally interacted with. For billions of people, it had become the very medium through which they experienced their reality. As billions of people began living their lives online through smartphones and other devices, they generated an unprecedented amount of digital information. Every search query, every online purchase, every social media post, and every GPS location ping created a data point. This colossal, ever-expanding ocean of information became known as big data. For the first time, we had a digital record of human behavior on a massive scale. Companies and researchers quickly realized the immense value locked within these data sets. By analyzing these torrents of information, they could identify patterns, predict trends, and gain deep insights into consumer preferences, social dynamics, and even the spread of diseases. This data-rich environment gave rise to a new kind of digital platform: social media. Services like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram were designed to connect people and allow them to share their lives with one another. They grew at an exponential rate, weaving billions of individuals into a single global social fabric. These platforms became the new public square, a place for debate, community building, and personal expression. They allowed social movements to organize, families to stay connected across continents, and individuals to find others who shared their passions. Social media fundamentally changed how we relate to one another, creating a society that was more interconnected, for better and for worse, than ever before. The business model that powered this new ecosystem was based on data. Social media platforms offered their services for free, but in exchange they collected vast amounts of information about their users' interests, behaviors, and social connections. This data was then used to create highly detailed user profiles, which were sold to advertisers who wanted to target their messages with surgical precision. This model of surveillance capitalism became the economic engine of the modern internet. It fueled the growth of some of the largest and most powerful corporations in history, whose primary asset was not physical infrastructure, but the data generated by their users. The combination of big data and social media created a powerful feedback loop that continues to shape our world. The data we generate is used to personalize the content we see, which in turn influences our opinions and behaviors, generating even more data. This system can create highly engaging and customized experiences, but it also leads to the formation of filter bubbles and echo chambers, where we are only exposed to information that confirms our existing beliefs. Our digital society became one of immense connection and convenience, but also one where our attention, our data, and even our perceptions were becoming the new highly valuable commodities of the digital age. The digital age has undeniably brought immense benefits, fostering global connectivity, democratizing access to information, and creating enormous economic value. It has empowered individuals, toppled dictatorships, and accelerated scientific discovery. However, this rapid transformation has also revealed itself to be a double-edged sword, creating new challenges and exacerbating old inequalities. One of the most significant issues is the digital divide, the gap between those who have access to modern information and communication technology and those who do not. This divide exists not only between developed and developing nations, but also within wealthy countries. often along socio-economic, racial and geographic lines, creating a new form of inequality in an increasingly digital world. Furthermore, the very platforms designed to connect us have also shown a capacity to divide us, and the algorithms that curate our social media feeds, while designed to maximize engagement, can inadvertently promote misinformation, extremism and polarization. By prioritizing sensational and emotionally charged content, they can create environments where conspiracy theories and falsehoods spread faster than factual information. This has posed a significant challenge to social cohesion and the health of democratic discourse, as shared realities fracture and trust in institutions erodes. The digital public square, once seen as a utopian space for connection, has also become a battleground for information warfare. The immense collection of personal data raises profound questions about privacy and security. Our digital footprints are vaster and more detailed than we can possibly comprehend, containing intimate details about our health, finances, beliefs and relationships. This data has become a tempting target for hackers, corporations and governments. High-profile data breaches have exposed the personal information of millions, while concerns grow about the use of surveillance technologies for social control and the erosion of personal autonomy. We are now faced with the difficult task of balancing the convenience and benefits of data-driven services with the fundamental right to privacy in a world where being online is almost a necessity. As we stand in the midst of this ongoing revolution, it is clear that digital technology is not merely a set of neutral tools. It is a powerful force that is actively reshaping our societies, our economies, and even our brains. It has interconnected humanity on an unprecedented scale, but it has also introduced complex new dilemmas that we're only beginning to understand. The digital age is not a final destination, but a dynamic and turbulent chapter in our story. Navigating its challenges requires not just technical skill, but wisdom, foresight, and a deep consideration of the human values we wish to preserve and promote as we wire our world and ourselves for the future. Today, we stand on the cusp of a revolution that may prove as transformative as the taming of fire or the invention of the printing press. This is the dawn of artificial intelligence. For all of human history, thought has been the exclusive domain of biological brains. We were the sole thinkers on this planet. Now, for the first time, we are creating non-biological entities that can learn, reason and create in ways that mimic and in some cases surpass our own cognitive abilities. This is not merely an advancement in computing power, it is the potential emergence of a new form of intelligence on Earth, a partner in our quest for knowledge and a tool of unimaginable power. AI is already quietly weaving itself into the fabric of our daily lives. It recommends the next song we might enjoy, helps doctors diagnose diseases with greater accuracy, and guides the flow of traffic in our sprawling cities. But what we see now is just the beginning. The true frontier lies in artificial general intelligence, or AGI, a form of AI that possesses the fluid, adaptable, and creative problem-solving skills of a human mind. The development of such an intelligence could supercharge scientific discovery, helping us solve some of the most complex challenges we face, from curing cancer to understanding the deepest mysteries of the cosmos. It could be the key that unlocks a new golden age of human progress. This emerging technology promises to redefine the very nature of work and creativity. Just as the steam engine automated physical labor, AI is beginning to automate cognitive labor. Tasks that once required years of human training, from writing code to composing music, are now within the capabilities of advanced algorithms. This shift will undoubtedly create immense economic and social disruption, forcing us to rethink our education systems and the value we place on different types of human skills. It challenges us to consider what work will mean in a future where our intelligent creations can perform many of our jobs more efficiently than we can. It's a future full of both promise and profound questions. The arrival of AI is a moment of immense significance. We are no longer just creating tools that extend our physical abilities. We are creating tools that extend our minds. This new intelligence could act as a powerful amplifier for human ingenuity, helping us to see farther and understand more deeply than ever before. It could be our co-pilot on the journey into the future. But as we build these powerful new minds, we must proceed with caution and wisdom, ensuring that their goals are aligned with our own. The dawn of AI is not just a technological event, it is a philosophical one, forcing us to ask fundamental questions about the nature of consciousness and our own place in the universe. The very technologies that have powered our progress have also left deep scars upon our home planet. The immense energy unleashed during the industrial and digital ages was fueled primarily by burning fossil fuels, a practice that has warmed our climate and destabilized our ecosystems. Now we face one of the greatest challenges in human history: how to continue our journey of progress without destroying the planetary systems that sustain us. The answer, once again, lies in technology. We are on the verge of a new green revolution, one powered by human ingenuity and a deep understanding of our interconnectedness with the Earth. This is our chance to use our tools not just to build, but to heal. The heart of this new revolution is the transition to clean, renewable energy. The cost of solar and wind power has plummeted in recent years, making them competitive with and often cheaper than fossil fuels. We are learning to harvest the immense power of the sun that bathes our planet every day and the winds that sweep across its surface. This is not just about building solar panels and wind turbines. It's about creating smarter, more resilient electrical grids that can store and distribute this energy efficiently. Innovations in battery technology, energy storage, and smart grid management are making a future powered entirely by clean energy not just a dream, but an achievable reality. This technological shift extends beyond how we generate power. It is about reimagining how we live, produce, and consume. We are developing new materials that are biodegradable or can be infinitely recycled, creating a truly circular economy that eliminates waste. Precision agriculture using drones and sensors allows us to grow more food with less water and fewer chemicals. Scientists are engineering new ways to capture carbon directly from the atmosphere, turning a pollutant into a valuable resource. Each of these innovations is a piece of the puzzle, a step towards building a society that is not just technologically advanced, but also in harmony with the natural world. The challenge is immense, but so is the opportunity. Building a sustainable global civilization is the great engineering project of the 21st century. It requires not only technological breakthroughs, but also a global shift in consciousness, a recognition that the health of our planet and the health of our civilization are one and the same. The same innovative spirit that built the factories of the Industrial Revolution and the networks of the digital age must now be directed toward creating a sustainable and thriving future for all. Technology brought us to this critical juncture, and it is technology, guided by wisdom and foresight, that can help us forge a better path forward. For as long as we have been human, we have looked up at the stars with a sense of wonder. That ancient celestial fascination is now transforming into a tangible reality. We are living in a new space age, one driven not just by the rivalry of superpowers, but by a global collaboration of nations and a new breed of private companies. The cost of reaching orbit is falling dramatically, opening up space as a new frontier for exploration, science, and potentially human settlement. Our journey of progress is no longer confined to the surface of our planet. We are beginning to take our first tentative but determined steps into the vast cosmic ocean. Our robotic emissaries are already exploring the solar system in our stead, revealing wonders that are reshaping our understanding of the cosmos. Rovers like Perseverance are searching for signs of ancient life on the dusty red plains of Mars. Probes are orbiting gas giants, studying their turbulent atmospheres and mysterious moons. The James Webb Space Telescope is peering back to the dawn of time, capturing images of the very first galaxies to form after the Big Bang. Each new image, each new piece of data expands our perspective and deepens our appreciation for the scale and complexity of the universe we inhabit. These missions are the vanguard of human curiosity. The ultimate goal for many is to see humanity become a multiplanetary species. Establishing a self-sustaining presence on another world like Mars would be the greatest adventure in human history. It would also be a profound insurance policy for the long-term survival of our species and the knowledge we have accumulated. Such an endeavor would require us to push the boundaries of technology in every field, from life support and robotics to propulsion and agriculture. The challenges are monumental, but the dream of seeing a human footprint on another world is a powerful driver of innovation, inspiring a new generation to pursue careers in science and engineering. Our ventures into space also offer a unique perspective on our own world. From the vantage point of orbit, borders disappear and the fragility of our planet becomes strikingly clear. The overview effect, as described by astronauts, is a profound cognitive shift that fosters a sense of global unity and a deep responsibility to protect our home. As we reach for the stars, we are reminded of the preciousness of the blue marble we all share. The future of humanity may lie among the planets, but our journey into space will always begin and be inspired by our deep connection to Earth, the cradle of our civilization. Our technological power is growing at an exponential rate. We are developing the ability to rewrite the code of life with gene editing tools like CRISPR, to create new forms of intelligence and to alter the climate of our entire planet. We are gaining powers that were once the stuff of mythology. With this great power comes an equally great responsibility. The most important frontier we must now navigate is not in cyberspace or outer space, but within ourselves. It is the frontier of ethics, wisdom, and foresight. The choices we make in the coming decades will not only shape our future, they will define what it means to be human in a technological age. Every new technology presents us with a set of ethical dilemmas. How do we ensure that artificial intelligence is used to benefit all of humanity, rather than to entrench power or create autonomous weapons? What are the moral boundaries of genetic engineering? And how do we prevent its misuse while harnessing its power to cure disease? Who should own and control the vast amounts of personal data that fuel the digital economy? These are not questions with easy answers. They require a global conversation, one that includes not just scientists and engineers, but philosophers, artists, policymakers, and citizens from all walks of life. As technology becomes more integrated into our lives, we must be vigilant in preserving our core human values. We must design our technologies to promote connection, not isolation, to foster understanding, not division, and to enhance our autonomy, not control our behavior. This requires a conscious effort to build our values into the very architecture of the systems we create. We must ask not only what can this technology do, but also what should this technology do, and how will it affect our society and our well-being. The future of progress cannot be measured by processing speed or efficiency alone. It must be measured by its contribution to human flourishing. Ultimately, the story of technology is our story. It is a reflection of our hopes, our fears, our creativity, and our flaws. The tools we build are not separate from us. They are an extension of who we are. The future is not a predetermined destination that we are passively approaching. It is a landscape of possibilities that we are actively creating with every choice we make. The pulse of progress beats on stronger than ever. The challenge for our generation is to guide that pulse with wisdom, to use our incredible powers to heal our planet, to uplift our fellow human beings, and to build a future that is not only technologically advanced, but also profoundly humane. Our long journey through time, from the savannas of our ancestors to the sprawling megacities of today, is bound together by a single, unbroken thread. This is the thread of human ingenuity, the relentless drive to innovate that we call technology. It is a story that began with the simple act of sharpening a stone and has culminated in our ability to speak with machines and gaze back at the dawn of the universe. This continuous pulse of progress is the most defining characteristic of our species. It is the narrative of how a fragile primate armed with little more than curiosity and a clever pair of hands rose to become the conscious shaper of a planetary destiny, writing its saga in tools of stone, iron, silicon, and light. Each technological leap from the agricultural revolution to the digital age has been more than a mere improvement in our tools. It has been a redefinition of our world and ourselves. The plough did not just turn the soil, it cultivated the very concept of civilization, allowing villages, cities, and empires to grow. The printing press did not just duplicate text, it democratized knowledge, sparking revolutions in science, religion, and politics. The internet did not just connect computers, it wove humanity into a single, vast, and often chaotic conversation. Technology is the powerful, externalized embodiment of our collective mind, a mirror reflecting our evolving ambitions, our deepest desires, and our timeless quest to overcome our limitations. As we trace this thread back through the millennia, we see that technology is not an alien force acting upon us, but an intrinsically human endeavor. It is born from our fundamental need to solve problems, to communicate, to create, and to explore. The spirit that animated the builders of the pyramids is the same spirit that drives the engineers designing missions to Mars. The curiosity that led our ancestors to chart the stars with the naked eye is the same curiosity that now fuels the complex algorithms of artificial intelligence. This thread of ingenuity connects every human face, every generation, from the ancient builders to the digital dreamers, in a shared and epic journey of discovery. Now we hold this thread in our own hands, and it glows with more power than ever before. The pace of change is staggering, and the tools we are creating have the potential to reshape our world in ways that are both exhilarating and terrifying. We have inherited the accumulated knowledge of all who came before us, a legacy of trial and error, of brilliant insights and unforeseen consequences. We are the current custodians of this incredible story of progress, standing at a crossroads where the challenges are as great as the possibilities. The story is far from over, and the responsibility for what comes next rests squarely on our shoulders. The next chapter in the human story is yet to be written, and we are the ones holding the pen. The technologies on our horizon, artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, sustainable energy, and space colonization, are not just incremental improvements. They represent fundamental shifts in our capabilities as a species. We face a future filled with profound questions and monumental choices. Will we use our growing intelligence to heal our planet, cure disease, and eliminate poverty? Or will we allow our new powers to deepen our divisions, amplify our flaws, and create new unforeseen dangers? The answer will depend on our ability to match our technological prowess with moral wisdom. This is not a time for passive observation. The future is not something that simply happens to us. It is something we build together through the choices we make every day. The challenges we face, from climate change to digital ethics, are too large and too complex for any one person, company, or nation to solve alone. They demand a new level of global cooperation and a shared sense of responsibility for our collective fate. Participating in this future means staying informed, engaging in thoughtful debate, and demanding that we create and use technology in ways that align with our highest values of compassion, equality, and long-term flourishing for all life on Earth. The pulse of progress beats on, a powerful rhythm that has carried us from the Stone Age to the Space Age. It is the sound of our unending quest to know, to build, and to become more than we are. This journey is humanity's greatest adventure, a story of stunning creativity and resilience. It is a story that belongs to all of us. The challenges are real, but so is the hope. The same ingenuity that created our problems can also be harnessed to solve them. Our capacity for innovation, when guided by empathy and foresight, remains the greatest resource we have for building a better world. And so, the conversation continues. The story of technology is our story, and it is unfolding in real time. The next chapter is not just about what new gadgets we will invent, it is about what kind of future we will choose to create. What do you think the next great technological leap will be? How can we ensure that it benefits all of humanity? The future is a conversation, and we invite you to join it. Reflect on the journey we have taken, consider the path that lies ahead, and help us imagine and build the next chapter in our shared human story. The pulse of progress is in our hands. Our